No way! It's Travis versus Travis here at Tpull's Corner. How did you get that username? They must have joined before me. Alright. Well, we'll see if it's a mirror match. Welcome to Tpull's Corner, everybody. Maybe it's just cats versus raccoons, because that's what I got today. I got raccoons. What determined my choice? I woke up, came home from work, and the daily chore was to cast red and green spells. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing animals in Bloomburrow. It's the 12 Days of Bloomburrow. I could get a creature down now, right? It's either Bark Knuckle Boxer, or Bark Knuckle Boxer. I think I'll choose Bark Knuckle Boxer. Raccoons are the red and green animals. And we can go ahead and put down another one, so we will. And I don't think we lose anything by attacking. They should just take this. I don't think they want to trade. They do. They actually just want to trade. I'm surprised at that. This deck, the synergy comes from life gain, and usually having some life gain give you counters. And then once you have the counters, that's when your advantage really begins. They don't even scry, they just gain the life. Okay, fine. What do we want to do? I think we want to do it this way. Because this way our attacker gets indestructible. And we keep them from hitting 25. 25 is the important number for most of these life gain decks. They have creatures that give extra abilities as soon as they hit 25. And as soon as you get a single Ajani's Pridemate, we get to be in a little bit of trouble here. Because we can do something to the opponent, right? But we can't necessarily do anything to the creatures. But let's start here. And then we can expend 4. And we get all these triggers. Let's see. We gain +1 in trample. I think we'll do that here. And we can attack with 2, and they shouldn't want to block, right? Okay. So that may be our best shot. They may actually take over from here. A lot of times these decks do have board wipes, just to be on the safe side. Yeah. I think we do need to block these too. Actually, if I just block this one here. They've got 5 open mana. I'm anticipating a board wipe. That's why they hit and they swung with everybody. They did not. They did not do a board wipe. I am surprised. Okay. Let's take out the trash. We'll get rid of Charming Prince. Trigger, trigger, trigger. 1 gets indestructible. 2 damage to the opponent. And yeah, let's just throw that away and draw something else. And then we get to attack for 8. Life gain comes into play. Okay. But they used up a lot of energy. Another life gain. And they can't equip that. And they give up. Because this had 3 points with Menace for sure. And whether they did or did not, they were going to lose their flyer. So they could still block one of these. I would have gotten, 6 points of damage in. Alright. It's a good start with the Raccoons. Let's go show you the entire deck. So Travis has beaten Travis. I am my own worst enemy sometimes. Okay, we start off the same way we did with the last deck. Just so y'all know, quick refresher. Rabbits. We did rabbits the first. This is the second day of 12 Days of Bloomburrow. We're doing Animal Tpull. And we used Valley Mightcrawler with the rabbits because they have this cross synergy. This particular frog warrior, whenever another frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Valley Mightcrawler. Very attractive 1-drop. I don't usually use a lot of 1-drops. Got 4 copies. I'm using 4 copies of the Valley Might Caller here. So you notice it's my only 1-drop out of the entire deck. But although I do have this Frog Warrior that has synergy with Raccoons, everybody else is a Raccoon. So for the 2-drops, I have 3 of the Brazen Collectors, 2 ones with First Strike. Whenever the attack, we get to add 1 red mana. And we don't lose the mana as the steps and phases end. We do lose it at the very end of the turn, right? It says until end of turn. But any other time, we can use that mana for the turn. 1 Raccoon Rallier, we can tap it. It's a 2/2 Raccoon Bard. When we tap it, target creature control gains haste. So if we already have this on the field, if we have something stronger that we want to summon down, we could tap this creature and let the other one attack. We have 3 copies to take out the trash. This is most of the interaction we have in the deck. Just 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control a Raccoon, you may discard a card. If you do, you draw a card. Usually, even if I like the card in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and discard a card and just see what else is out there and just dig through my deck. I feel that we have the urgency with this deck. We need to do that. I do have a couple of cards that are interactions. One is Atrax's Fall to destroy target artifact, battle enchantment, or creature with flying. And the other one is a 3-drop Spider Food, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. I feel you never know when you're going to come up against something that's almost entirely artifacts or enchantments, or even just one really killer artifact or enchantment. So responsible deck building does tend to include something in there. So I got the bare minimum, I think, in there for that. Baker's Bane Duo. This is a 2/2 Squirrel Raccoon. So you see the duo in the picture there. You got 2 lovely animals. When it enters, you create a food token. Whenever you expend 4, the duo gets +1/+1 just until the end of the turn. Not the greatest, but it's a 2/2 for 2. You get a token that gives you +3 life, and you do get to turn it into a 3/3 on any one particular turn. I have 3 copies of the Bark Knuckle Boxer. Whenever you expend 4, it gains Indestructible. That is valuable in and of itself. The Indestructible is proven to be overpowered mechanic in the eyes of the designers of Wizards of the Coast, so they don't tend to give a lot of stuff with Indestructible these days. Not on a permanent situation. A lot of it's now instants that grant it for a turn, or things like this where creatures get it, but it's conditional. It only lasts if you meet a particular condition or until end of turn. With this one, you notice you have to expend 4 first, and then it still goes away at the end of the turn. So there's a couple of hoops to jump through to get this to be really valuable. But that said, if you can get up to 4 and expend 4 in a turn, sending a 3 power thing at your opposing line, a lot of times they just don't want to block it because they know they're going to lose. 4 copies of Keen-Eyed Curator comes in as a 3/3 for only 2 green. As long as there are 4 more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, it gets +4/+4 and has trample. For only 1 mana, you can exile a target card from graveyard. You can do that at instant speed, so that's kind of cool, and it doesn't have any color dependency to exile the card. But if you're just exiling the cards willy-nilly, you won't get the +4 until you get 4 different card types. Wandertail Mentor, a Raccoon Bard for 2/2. Whenever you expend 4, you get a +1/+1 counter on it. Plus, it kind of helps to... Depends on if you got a Raccoon Rallier out. If you've already got a Raccoon Rallier out and you bring down the Wandertail Mentor, you could give the Mentor haste, and say you only have 3 lands. This could act as your 4th land because the Rallier gave it haste. And so you could spend 2 mana to bring down the Wandertail Mentor, and then use the Mentor as part of the 4th mana to actually cast another card. So you can get this on turn 3. Out. You can get this to turn into a 3/3 on turn 3, but it has to line up just right. That said, in testing, I did it. Byway Barterer, the Raccoon Rogue for 3/3. Whenever you expend 4, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2. I love this here because I'm pretty good at emptying my hand by the time I cast this card. So there's no real discard. You just get to draw 2 cards. Roughshod Duo, a mouse and a raccoon this time. You notice that the raccoons have a lot of cross-animal synergy, right? So this is not, they're including, like here we have just a frog. He's a frog warrior, he has synergy with the raccoons. When you go down the, here, let me find it. Here the squirrels are represented here. And then we come to the roughshod duo, and the mouse raccoon is here. So it's interesting the way they've done the cross-animal synergy, because when you look at this, let's see, and let me get to it again. I keep messing up which one it is. Here, the squirrel and the raccoon both benefit from Valley Mite Collar with the frog, but the mouse raccoon does not. The mouse does not benefit from the Valley Mite Collar. But the fact that we've got that he's also got a raccoon on there, he does, so it counts. But the raccoons sort of cross over different animal types to create a little cross synergy with the rest of the set. I haven't done a lot of cross animal synergy yet. We're right now for the first, at least the first 10 days of the 12 Days of Bloomburrow. We're going to stick with just one primary animal type. So we're sticking with the raccoons. But let's say I wanted to build a mouse deck and throw a couple of extra raccoons in there with this roughshod duo. They've designed that on purpose that way to try and get you some cross-animal synergies. I know they designed the birds that way as well. This, I think, is a mistake, but I'm keeping it in there. Valley Flamecaller. It's a lizard, 3/3. If a lizard, mouse, otter, or raccoon you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 1 instead. So again, it's like the frog warrior, right? It's not a raccoon, but it does have benefit if you control a raccoon, so I think it counts. Keeping it in. We'll see if it's... So far, it hasn't been the decisive card, but I think it might help for a point or two of damage, so we'll see how it does. Brambleguard Veteran, Raccoon Warrior, for 3 mana. You can get a 3/4. Whenever you expend 4 raccoons you control, get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. A lot of these are very temporary things, right? It only happens for 1 turn. The Scrap Shooter, only 1 copy of it so far. 4/4 with reach. If a gift was promised, you get to destroy a target artifact or enchantment. So there's a cost. I have to give them a card, but if my other 2 cards to get rid of enchantments or artifacts haven't shown up, maybe I'll be willing to give them a card just to get rid of whatever enchantment or artifact they have on the board. Teapot Slinger, 3/4 with menace. Whenever you expend 4, the slinger deals 2 damage to each opponent. Rush Shield Rampager, a raccoon warrior, 4/4 with offspring, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And then Junkblade Bruiser, I think I started with 4 copies and I had too many, right? So I cut down to 2. This way Arena Online won't punish me by having too many expensive cards and sticking me with only the most expensive cards in my hand at the beginning of the game. Whenever you expend 4, Junkblade Bruiser gets +2/+1. Again, only until end of the turn. So you constantly have to be casting 4 mana spells. And I think I've got just the right mana curve for this. A lot of 2-drops so that I can cast 2 at a time. And then these puppies, I've only got 4 of them. But if I've got all the rest of these that have the expend 4, just by dropping 1 of these, I can qualify all the rest of the hand. So when you look, I've got 31 creatures, much heavier than most of the creature decks that I tend to do myself. Still stuck with 24 lands. It ends up being a very cheap deck, notice. Only 2.4 average converted mana cost. What do we have for lands? We've got 4 the Rockface Village. So for 1 mana, a target lizard, mouse, otter, or raccoon you control gets +1 and haste. And 3 of the Oak Hollow Village, you can put a +1 on a raccoon you control that entered the battlefield this turn. So a little bit extra help there. And of course the 1 Demolition Field to take out their special lands, as always. And some of this may be repetitive for the next week or so as I go through these, but for 12 Days of Bloomburrow, we're going through the Bloomburrow decks specifically. We're making the animal decks. And I haven't seen a lot focused on with the raccoons. Okay, I think we bring out the Mite Collar now. And then we bring out everything else to help pump him up. Opponent's starting kind of slow. Yeah, let's use all of our energy, bring out the Roughshod Duo. First blood is ours. And okay, the Deep State has left. I don't know if they were land starved or if they just weren't liking what they were, their own cards that they were looking at. And I clicked so fast I didn't even see what card I got. I wonder if I open up something like this, it'll show me real quick. Did they show me the new card? No. Okay. Well, whatever card I get, it probably wasn't the new one. The raccoons are the least supported animal out of all the types that they've done so far. If you try and look through the other colors, there are no other raccoons, and you only get them in red and green. So as Wizards continues, they're definitely going to try and keep adding on more animals. I would I'll keep a lookout for more raccoons. The frog will beef up the other frog warrior, and we're off to the races already. Our problem with facing blue a lot of times is they have a lot of bounce spells sometimes, and they can just get rid of all of our counters. Really sets us back and delays us. Let's do the Watertail Mentor. Can't really do much about the Fog Bank, so I've just got to steamroll past it. That means they sort of get one free blocker each time, but we do have Trample. So blocking the bigger one doesn't really help them much with regard to these two creatures, because they're both the same, they both have Trample. Really small, cheap stuff to start with. Can I do this? 3, 4. Okay, so I'll bring this out now. Pump up the Might Callers. And then I can use the other Mentor for their mana to expend 4. Then the other two creatures also get counters. And then the Might Callers get buffed up once more from Baker's Bane Duo. And Dude Slayer is gone as well. What? That's only 3 lands. We went off with 3 lands. Well, with the Trample, we were going to do, what, 6 points of damage right there. They were going to be half dead down to 10. I did not expect this from Raccoons, because Raccoons are the bigger animals, right? So traditionally, the smaller the cost for the Raccoon, the less impressive it's going to be. And I limited myself on the larger Raccoons. Now my next opponent is Zombie Bunny. Did somebody run around and turn all the bunnies into zombies? It is possible with the cards we have. That is a lot of extra cards. What do they have, 150? And they get multiple colors and ramp, all at a very good time for them. We bring in 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think I'll bring this down now. Bring in the Roughshod Duo. That way, if they don't remove my creatures, I've got 2 different expend 4 triggers that I can use. I'm going to have to use the Mentor's energy as my 4th mana for that, though. Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Yeah, I think we stick with the plan. Curator comes out now. Then the Brazen Collector. Buff. They can exile their own cards from the graveyard. I don't have anything in the graveyard yet. But they don't get any benefit unless it was a creature. They're looking at my Keen-Eyed Curator because I can also exile target cards from graveyard. So if they kill another one... No, they just want to get rid of my duo. Maybe they don't like the trample? Interesting. I don't have a way to expend 4. Let's get rid of my creature, so they can't exile the creature. We'll bring down the Valid Flamecaller. We will attack with this creature. Doubling Season. Okay, we can expend 4. Or... let's give them a card. Let's get rid of Doubling Season. In the meantime, we can exile the enchantment in case they have a way to bring it back. They're down to 2 already? What have I been hitting them with? I haven't even been paying attention to how many times I hit them in the face. That worked out nicely. I was killing them so quickly I wasn't even noticing. I did not have this kind of expectation for the Raccoon deck. We've won so much already. How can Arena possibly allow this to continue? You simply must land starve me or flood me. I was kind of concerned because when you're going up against things like mono red aggro, you can actually get to a point on turn 4 where you're either dead or it's obvious that turn 5 you're going to be dead. The idea that you have to build up and wait until you get 4 to expend 4 to get any kind of benefit has me slightly nervous, so to speak, just from the gameplay standpoint. But I think maybe we've been lucky in our opponents. The opponents don't seem to have a lot of creature removal, which is what I'm used to. Okay, Wandertail Mentor allows us to expend 4 on the next turn. Junkblade Bruiser already. And they are ramping. Okay, let's do 1. No, I did it wrong, didn't I? Well, I pump up the mic collar though. I think that's okay. Okay, they've already got up to 5 and using different colors. Very interesting. Okay, so we do this. We do this. We attack with 7 points of damage. And maybe this is cheating because the Valley Might Color is actually doing a ton of work here. But it's only doing that work because we're putting down a bunch of raccoons to help it pump it up each time. I could use one more land, start getting the Junkblade Bruiser into things. And then I could still cast my 3 and 2 drops together. And that would really kick this into high gear. I just need one more land. I wonder what if they have other colors besides green and white here. They've probably got the enchantment that exiles your creatures. Is what they're trying to figure out who to get rid of. Oh, Meticulous Excavation! Oh, I love that card. I haven't used that card in a while. I've done some dirty, dirty things with this card. Okay, so they go after the Might Caller. And now they got a bunch of 3/3s. They don't want to trade because they probably have another enchantment and a way to pump these up, and they want to save them if they can. Are they going to trade both? That's excellent. I love that. And if you have a trick to save one... No, they want to save one. What? No, wait, you're saving both now. They're changing their mind. There we go. Okay, they split the baby. They traded one. This card, you need to have something effective on the field to return it to the hand and then be able to cast it again to get the effect back. I don't think they have enough ammo to really use the excavation just yet, which is important. Maybe I spoke too soon. Let's see. I guess we bring this thing down. Can we bum rush them? I could do 7 that turn. Yeah, let's try it. I might have done the math wrong, right? They can take out the 2 biggest ones and still survive with both of their creatures. So I'm only doing 4 points of damage. Oh, if they pump this open, they get 2 life, though, don't they? Yeah, I think I may have gone too early. That's my fault. I don't think I had my forces built up fast enough, high enough, good enough. And we only got, let's see, we got the scout. Only have 2 card types that are there. So this isn't going to be able to be built up enough either. I mean, the only hope I have right now, really, is that they can't afford to attack. Oh, never mind. I'm going to attack anyway. This gets rid of the demon, right? They've got to block the trampler. Right? They're not going to give up their demon. They're going to take 6 points? I'm still gambling big time. I need something good out of my deck. It can't be a land. If I get a land, I'm probably toast. And this is the one problem with a lot of these creatures. This one, at least, we get counters. But the Junk Blade, all of that benefit goes away. Okay, so they've got all the blockage they need. And they're back at 3 life. Oh, that is not going to be enough. That is not going to be enough. I think I'm dead. Yep, they built up too much. I didn't get anything to destroy the artifacts or enchantments or the creatures with flying. I am completely out of juice. Now they can do anything they want. Resolve that, resolve that. Get rid of that. Got them so close. Okay. Yep, there's nothing left in the tank. They've got card draw and life gain and superior creatures. I would have to literally save up for multiple turns just to do something good. I don't know if I had anything that if I'd held back, would I have been able to build up? Possibly. Possibly I jumped the gun 1 turn too early. But getting a 6/6 demon out combined with that room in particular is kind of tough. See, the Wizards' team of spies is at it again. The one thing that I could have used that they didn't give me now is in my opening hand. Give me something good. They have removal! How am I supposed to build up my forces? This is not good. Okay, I guess we bring down the collector. We offer the trade. They shouldn't want to. More removal? Guess we'll take that. This is a good thing. What do I do here? I think I can't afford to attack. Black tends to have a lot of removal. And I need to stop... I need to deter their life gainer from attacking. Can I do... Yes, I can do 4. And pump out the Might Collar. And now it's worth attacking. That's fine. I have first strike. What are you doing? Do they have a board wipe? Why would you do that? 4, 5. Okay, so we won't do that this turn. Let's just attack with everybody. They get the cat back. But that's 9 points of damage. What can you do with a 1/1? Did you just flood out? Is that all that happened? And what is that one remaining card they had? What kind of deck is this? They got, well, that's not the worst start necessarily. They've managed to have 2 removal cards and 3 creatures, but just relatively speaking, compared to the numbers that I was putting out, you know, 1/1s are not going to cut it against this particular deck. So maybe they had a go wide kind of strategy, a weenie deck, but it should be faster than that. But if all you're doing is drawing lands, there's a limit on what can happen there. So that's not necessarily due to my skill. That's just Arena flooding out the opponent player. But why have we only lost once? I'm really not used to that. They've got me paranoid now. Alright, we will take the land. We start as we always do with the Valley Might Caller. Been showing up with very impressive frequency. Go get some life. Bringing down the next Might Caller. The Heir Apparent. Triggering off Takesha's Welcome every time. Very nice. What are we going to do? I think we're going to do the Boxer. Followed by Atrax's Fall. And then let's just go ahead and offer up the trade right now. With as many heir apparents as they have, they should be willing to make this trade. That's weird. Did they not realize they have trample? They only saved on 1 point of damage. Well, we know what their strategy is going to be. Paired with the life gain from the Sanctifier, so it's a slightly different kind of rabbit deck. I didn't go up against that. The problem is I can't really expend 4 this time. Do I go up against them again? I think we wait. And it may hurt us, because they're probably just going to have another heir apparent or two. Replacement. Okay. Good timing. They got their second copy pretty early on. One more heir apparent will help them draw. They do nothing. Okay. I can let them draw. Yeah, let's get rid of Takesha's Welcome. We'll give them a card. Trigger, 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 trigger. Attack with all 4. Okay, they prevent lethal damage. They shouldn't block there because that one has trample, so that's a mistake. But they do block all the rest. So they'll take, what, 4 points of damage? And they get rid of my most powerful creature at 6/6. That's most of my ammo. What can you do? Do you have more heirs apparent? Or more Takesha's welcomes? Or something new? Fumigate! Okay, fine. We have haste. It's amazing with all these heir apparents, all these tokens and creatures, and they're still using the board wipe. Ah, there we go. That's why. Very nice. Every card exactly when they needed it. Board wipe followed by the return spell. And I might as well just hold on to that one, I guess. I'm dead. Yeah, if you could guarantee that you get Fumigate followed by Raise the Past, yeah, that's pretty good. So I get rid of that puppy, and then I die, right? Even having him down wouldn't have stopped the death. I still would have died. I did mention we were winning too much, didn't I? We'll do one more. These games feel like they've been going fast. That is kind of fun, though, because I did want to have a kind of pet mirror match with the Bloomburrow set. So the Raccoons didn't fare too well against the Rabbits, which I kind of expected. I wonder if we can get anything else from Bloomburrow in here. I don't have a 1-drop, so we'll put that down first. This is good. First strike and lifelink. Okay, so we'll put down our first striker. And this is good. You little puke. They can exile that too, so I need them not to exile it this turn. I need them to do something else. Okay. Okay, that works. No way. You won't even let me hit you in the face once? You're giving up that easily? Wow. I only have one more card in my hand. This is all I can do to you, pretty much. Yeah, okay. Well, we hung out against the Rabbits as long as we could. Duskmourn's Domination. Still haven't decided if this is a good enough card or not. It kind of is very situation dependent. Like maybe it's a good sideboard card. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the Raccoons one more time. So pretty cheap deck. You saw a little bit of the drawback in terms of because it's so cheap, we can run through things pretty quickly and empty our hand. But it actually turns out to be a relatively fast deck. We're able to expend almost all of our energy due to the expend 4. It really encourages you to try and think about turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 curve in terms of what cards do I want to have in my deck that will give me like a 3-1 combo or a 2-2 combo. Notice I didn't go with a whole ton of just straight 4-drops. I figured much more for the 3-1 or the 2-2 type of combo. And then a little bit of the ramp with the Wandertail Mentor gives you that one extra in case, oh, maybe on turn 4 we could get a Junkblade Bruiser out if we have a Mentor down for ramp. I had a couple of little ramp cards in here that were a little bit different than the normal things you think of in terms of like everybody's using the elves right now, or maybe throwing down a battle that goes and gets you a couple of lands. None of that ramp, just using the sort of the indigenous raccoon ramp that's built into the card type, into that particular animal type. So the one card that I wasn't sure about, right, was, where was it? He didn't really come up this time, did he? Valley Flamecaller. I wasn't sure if he should really stay in there or not. He does have Raccoon Synergy, but he's a lizard. But anyway, let me know if you would switch out something else for that. Maybe we did need like one more way to deal with artifacts or enchantments or creatures with flying, perhaps. I could see that. But as always, we're going to do what we're going to do, right? We're going to thank our Patreon, Sujik. We're going to invite you to issue a like and subscribe. We do have a couple new subscribers, so I want to make sure to say welcome to the new people. Hope you hang around. And we're going to continue on. Next time will be day 3 of the 12 Days of Bloomburrow. We'll have a different animal type for you. And we'll keep on going down this pathway and demonstrating these for you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.